Good afternoon and welcome to our weekly women's volleyball press conference with head coach Tyler Hildebrand. We'll go ahead and start with an opening statement and then we'll open it up to questions from the media.
Thank you, Lindy. We're heading into a week on a short, we only have 2 days to prepare because today we have to be off. And so it's an interesting situation for us because we played on Sunday. We didn't have a lot of information on Texas or LMU, so we're kind of catching up scouting report live as we go. And now we got 3 teams to prepare for in 2 days. So that's the first thing that we're dealing with today. But to recap last weekend, we had, a historic moment for our program. And, I say that because we're proud of the fans that came and we're proud of our program and where it's come. And we want to make sure that we're proud of that because it was the first time we've beaten number 1 team in 22 years and the largest crowd in 20, et cetera. We've been through all of it, but it's important that we let everyone know that we're proud of that moment. And it was a great moment. And also, we've been through the film on LMU. And as I said in my press conference on Sunday or yesterday, we knew LMU is a really good team. They got a bunch of preseason votes. They deserve it. They didn't have their best game against Texas on Saturday. So, there was no overlooking. There was no, we knew from the time we scheduled them that this was going to be a tough team, just like they were last year when we scheduled them. And so our theme all season is that we have a tournament at the end of the season to get the AQ to go to the tournament. Obviously, you can get a bid as well, but our whole goal is to play our best at the end of the year. And so with our schedule, we're going to have ups and downs and maybe some wins and losses, and we need to learn from our wins and learn from our losses. So it's easy to say that when you won one and lost one, so you get to learn from both. So we're trying to take the lessons learned and start tomorrow. We're letting the girls have, we're not. They're off, but we're not filling them with anything today. We're letting them chill, and we'll get at it tomorrow.
How much of an advance or an opportunity is this week to kind of like prepare like you will at the end of the season, where you won't really know your opponent? You'll have a lot less time to prepare for your next opponent, and this week is one of those short turnaround weeks.
Yeah, we, anytime we get to play in front of a good crowd at home against good teams, I think it's going to prepare us for the end of the year. And yeah, we're Thursday, Friday, Saturday this week. I think it's going to be Wednesday, Friday, Saturday for the tournament. So pretty similar format. And like you said, depending on when, I guess I don't even know since it's our first year, I don't know when they're going to put the bracket out. I assume Sunday. You have a little bit less time maybe, but this is what we talked about after the match was just on Sunday. I was just like, hey, we knew that we were going to have different challenges every night. And obviously beating Texas in that moment, the challenge was how do we still play to our level, to our standard against a really good team coming off of a big win. So that was a lot different challenge than Friday night, which was just, playing Texas and, first game of the season. So every match is going to have different challenges. So this week we know we're going to get tested again. The next, I guess we've talked about our schedule a lot. We're going to keep getting tested. And so we're trying to have the mindset this week of, hey, we're going to have hopefully good crowds again this week. Jeff's talked to me about ticket sales, and they look like they're going to be big again. And so that's great because then we get more dress rehearsals to play at home. And we're playing really, really quality teams, Indiana, Washington, UCLA. So we won't have practices in between like we did this weekend. So it's going to be bang, bang, bang. And so we're going to handle this week just like we handled last week and just like we're going to handle the following weeks.
There are a lot of new head coaches coming into this weekend. Of course, you in your second year. So how exciting is it to have these maybe not unfamiliar faces, but unfamiliar faces in their roles coming into this weekend?
Yeah. Well, Alfie is one of my best friends. We've known each other since 2005. And yeah, one of the best people in our game and one of the best coaches in the country. And I don't know Tui very well, but everyone I know that's played for her as an assistant for it seems like she's been there since I was born as an assistant, and she's still pretty young, so she's been there a long time. But she's one of the more beloved people in our sport also. So I would imagine that those teams are going to have great energy for those coaches. And obviously Mike Seeley and Keegan Cook are legends and great coaches. So it's not anything against them. It's just that anytime you have a new coach, there's a new energy and a different vibe. So we expect that to be the case for Washington and UCLA, and Tui and Alfie are two of the more beloved people in our game, I think. And I've known Steve Aird for a long time, and he's had unbelievable success at Maryland, and now building Indiana back up, and they're going to be tough. We've been watching video on them today, and they're good. And so he's obviously had a lot of success at Penn State as an assistant coach as well. So, and he's one of the good people in our game. So we have a lot of respect for these coaches coming in. We're going to have a lot of respect for their programs. I'm new, Alfie's new, Tui's new. There's good and bad to that. Sometimes you don't get stuck in your old ways, but you're also a little inexperienced. So hopefully it's a great test for our players, and we get to learn more about ourselves, and hopefully it's a great weekend, and hopefully the community comes and watches some great volleyball.
And for those games that aren't Long Beach State in those matches, fans that will come to the Walter Pyramid will see your team on the side scouting, and I've seen some of the players writing down notes. And is there anything special that you tell your players to look for while they're watching, or just to pay attention?
Well, now that it's week 2, we have a couple matches of volumetrics, so we they watch their hitters and their zones and try to get some tendencies. Some programs have their players do like big, a lot of scouting report stuff. We like to keep it pretty simple for them, and want them to basically do what we train all the time. We try to train in a way that is reactive to any type of team, and then we just look at the kind of the outlier things that we're not used to. For example, like LMU set their out-of-system balls left side way inside, and we knew that from last year, which is nice that we've already done it, but that's obviously very unique. They're the only team that's doing that, so we need to prep that, right? But most of the time we're just prepping things like that, and the rest of the time we're trying to say, hey, this is how we train. We train against this type of situation or these types of players or this type of offense. So on the flip side, LMU is fast. Well, we're fast, so we didn't have to work all week or work all day on Saturday. I'm like, hey, they're going really fast because we go fast, and so. As far as watching in person, to answer your question, we don't have to prep them much because we just want them to get a feel for the themes. They don't need to be looking at distributions of rotations. We have that on the report, and we typically don't even talk too much about that. So we want them just to get a feel and have some sense and watch. But because we play right afterwards, we watch the whole match on Saturday because we didn't play till Sunday. But they're not going to watch the whole match. They might watch a set or two. So we'll watch a little bit of, and we don't get to watch Washington. So really, they're just going to watch UCLA on Friday. So,
and for some of the UCLA matches, especially in the beginning of the year and in this tournament, we will be without Alfie Ref as the head coach because he'll be having some Team USA obligations, and this is just an opportunity for me to ask about your experience with Team USA and how that is to represent the country with the Olympics kind of right around the corner.
Is that confirmed? I mean, I heard he might not be there, but I don't know.
It is reported that, according to UCLA, yes.
Oh, there you go. I'll score one for USA. Usually USA doesn't win that battle. I know, I was doing both for a very long time. My experience with USA volleyball has been, I guess, pretty long, and I was a player for a while and coached both on the indoor and the beach side for a long time. So, there's nothing better than, I still remember after my freshman year here playing, I got to go play in Japan first, but we were a World University Games team for South Korea. And first time I ever put a USA jersey on and had my name on the back, that was a big moment in my life. And, got to win a gold medal in the Olympics with April and Alex, and that was a big moment in my life. And there's been a lot in between. And so, anytime you put those colors on and you put the USA Volleyball logo on, you're proud of what you're doing. And a lot of my best memories in this sport have been through doing that as a player or a coach. And so I'm really happy that UCLA is working it out with Alfie because that's a win for UCLA and USA, and USA working out with it's a win for both programs. I know Sparrow's done that. They asked me to do it at Nebraska, but USA didn't win that battle. And so I think it's a good way for USA to get quality coaches, because if not, it's hard for them to do it because the schedules are different, and a lot of the salaries now in women's college volleyball, are not comparable to what USA offers. But so I think it's a great thing that they're doing with Alfie, and I didn't know. I was surprised. I mean, I still would be surprised if he's not there. But either way, I mean, they have Amir and Jen, and they have a great staff. So,
and to put a little focus on one player from over the weekend, Cameron Bacon seemed to be doing pretty well. What do you see from her just going from year to year, from last year to this year, being able to block some of the better middles like we saw in LMU from time to time, and being up and ready?
Cam has been, it's incredible what Cam is, how much she's grown as a person, but how much better she's gotten. She put a lot of work in the weight room. And when I got here in January of 2022, if you look at that Cam versus the Cam now, and the cool thing is, it doesn't have much to do with us. It has to do with what she's done and her work in the weight room and how hard she works in practice. And she was good for us last year, but she's gone to another level this year. And just really proud of her. And it shows you what you can do when you take the time to be a learner in the gym, and take the time to work on your strength and work on building a more durable and explosive body. And I mean, she touched 10-6 this year, that's pretty big for any team in the country. And I don't know what she was touching when we got here, but it was, I think, low 10s at best. And so it's a testament to the work that she's put in, and we're really proud of her. And she's a great teammate, and she's had success over the last two matches. And really, I think one of the standouts of the weekend was both of our middle. Obviously, Katie was our best player on yesterday, and Katie had just switched positions, So I know she still played a little bit of middle last year, but so Cam and Katie have played two really nice matches, and so we're really happy with how they're both playing. But yeah, Cam's growth has been really, really cool to watch.
Coach, can you speak a little bit about the depth to your team this year? Obviously, there's several new faces on the bench that are coming in and getting some action out on the court. What does that do for the team in terms of like the starters that are getting a chance to get some rest because they know that they've got an amazing squad coming in behind them?
Yeah, there's a lot of good and potential. There's potential bad to that of too many people coming in and out of the game. It's never our goal. When you're out there, you want to be playing free, not worried about coming out of the game. But the reality is we do have depth. And so there's, if you don't have depth, no one comes out of the game. They get the positive of knowing no one's coming in for them, but then you don't have anyone when they're not playing good. And the reverse is when you have depth, it's really good to have upgrades, which we've, Pepperdine and Texas were just unbelievable, And I said this, I think, it's not going to happen every time you mix, subs come in, they're going to go off, but didn't have that same big boost as we did against LMU, but that's the reality. It's not going to always happen. But you want to make sure people are still able to go out there and trust that they can play and play themselves, and so that's going to be our battle. But it's a good problem to have that we do have depth, and there's players that are playing really good in our practice that haven't played yet, in the scrimmage included. And so we have a bigger roster and a lot of depth, and we're proud of that. And that allows our gym to be really good. It allows, and so our goal is to make sure that our women are empowering each other, not just competing with each other. So we want them to have the relationships so they can empower one another and know that we believe in them even if they're in or out of the game. And that's one of the hardest things to do, I think, as a coaching staff. But so far, we've asked our women to do things that everyone says they're going to do, but we're actually going to do them. Growth mindset, or conflict resolution, or be a great learner when good times are bad. We ask them to do that stuff. We say, yeah, everyone says this, but are they actually going to do it when the rubber meets the road? So to your question, are we going to empower each other whether we're in or out of the match. That's going to be a great challenge for us, and one that I think we're ready to have. And we're going to have some ups and downs with it for sure. But we're pretty focused on our goal for this season, and I think we're gonna be able to do it.
Now, this week the AVCA poll just came out. Long Beach State's receiving votes. Is that something that you guys take into the week coming in, and maybe use that as like an extra pump up to maybe get into the rankings, or is that something that you guys don't pay too much attention to?
Well, certainly not with the team. We don't want to pay too much attention to the rankings. But as far as building a program, it matters, and I say this all the time. But our goal is to get people here to come watch us play and to support us. And being where we're at, we want people to be excited about our team. We want people to support our team. Not just by coming to the games, but financially. And the reality for our program is we need financial help. And buying tickets is great. Donating is great. So if we're ranked or we do the better we do, the better chance we have of support. So the ranking, something like that, I don't know the last time we've been ranked or whatever. I'm sure if we're, for some reason we do get ranked, I'm sure Lindy will talk about when the last time was. But all of those milestones are important to recruits. They're important to our fan base. They're important to our administration, because everybody's in this thing together. Our administration supporting us, our fans supporting us, our recruits wanting to come here. So that stuff definitely matters, so we can share it. But as far as what we do day to day, none of that matters. And so we don't focus on it with the team. But we have chosen to make sure we're checking these milestones with our players, because when we recruit them and tell them we're going to bring this thing back, or they get here and we're selling a vision to them of like a big crowd and beating teams and believing in something that we haven't done in a while, when we do it, we have to acknowledge it and not get in our head about it, but acknowledge it, because you have to acknowledge those steps along the way, or else why are you working so hard to do them if you're just going to ignore them, right? So like we've spent, we want to spend some time understanding that what happened on Friday was a big deal. We let it go for Sunday, and we're going to let it go for this. But it's okay to understand that was a first time in 20-year thing here in a number of ways, and they did that. The team did that, and they need to know that we can't just say we want to do these things and dream big about them, and then it didn't happen when it happens, right? That's not how it goes. So there's a challenge there too, to acknowledge it and then let it go and move on and get to work. And so we're a program that is always talking about the yin and yang of everything. And some programs want to be dogmatic about this or that. And we believe that the magic in almost everything is understanding there's a positive and a negative, a yin and a yang, and being able to dance in that and being able to acknowledge both and be okay with there is both is something that is, part of the culture of our program. So that's why we're acknowledging them. So for those reasons, yes. But as far as, if we were to get ranked or something, we mention it and say, you guys should be proud of this, but we got to get to work.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.